So let's talk about how we purchase facilities. Most people, when they go to buy real estate, they assume that, everyone's really getting the same type of debt, which means that they're all competing on roughly the same type of price for that facility. And what we find is that that's not the case. Yes, if you go out to get third party debt, there is some variation in rate and leverage, but where you really start getting some really good gains for not only the seller, but then also for us and the investor is when you start going into creative financing structures. So, for example, when we make an offer on a self storage facility, instead of making one offer like most of our competitors do, we make 5 offers. We'll make one offer that it requires us to go get full bank debt. We'll make 3 offers that have some type of seller financing in place. So now the seller gets to collect interest as if they were the bank, allowing them to get a higher total price for their asset. And then we also make what's called a master lease with purchase option offer, which is basically it's a rent to own. So we'll rent the entire facility from that seller. So they get to continue to collect monthly cash flow. Anything above that rent amount, we get to keep. And then we have a preset price that we're going to purchase their facility down the line in maybe 3, 5, 7 years. So those are kind of the 5 different offers that we make. And then that allows us to pay a higher purchase price than most of our competitors because we don't need to rely on bank debt, which can be pretty onerous to get, a lot of underwriting. Here's a perfect example. Right now, if you're going to go bring a cash flowing asset to a bank, you're going to be paying anywhere between 6.5% to 8% in interest. So that's probably going to be a 5-year balloon with a 25-year amortization. It's pretty standard in the market right now. However, when we show that all that extra interest that the bank is earning, that the seller themselves can earn, and if they don't need all of the equity right now, we can structure something that fits for them. So they can be, a certain amount of down payment if they need a little bit of a cash windfall to take care of certain things in their life. And then a monthly payment going forward to, depending on how long they want it, maybe 3 years, 7 years, 15 years, all these things. And what that allows us to do is pay a higher price because then our cost of debt can actually become artificially lower. So instead of me getting let's say a 7% loan on a 25-year amortization, with a 5-year balloon, we closed on one that was a 3.5% loan, interest only, for 11 years. So all of a sudden now the amount that I'm paying towards debt on that given property goes down quite a bit over the hold period, which means I'm allowed to pay a little bit higher of a price than what most of my competitors would be able to pay if they were going to a regular bank. So not only does the seller win by getting a higher price, they win because they get additional interest payments throughout the period. They no longer have to operate that facility, so they can go, do the next phase of their life, travel, what have you. And then at the same time, we're producing a much higher cash on cash return and internal rate of return for our investors. So I think that's one of the pieces on the marketing side with the acquisitions that we are pretty different than a lot of the other operators in the top 100.